Just as we have to remember the gods of antiquity in order to appreciate the psychological value of the anima-animus archetype, so Christ is our nearest analogy of the self and its meaning. It is naturally not a question of a collective value artificially manufactured or arbitrarily awarded, but of one that is effective and present per se, and that makes its effectiveness felt, whether the subject is conscious of it or not. Yet although the attributes of Christ, consubstantiality with the Father, co-eternity, filiation, parthenogenesis, crucifixion, lamb sacrifice between opposites, one divided into many, etc., undoubtedly mark him out as an embodiment of the self. Looked at from the psychological angle, he corresponds to only one half of the archetype. The other half appears in the Antichrist. The latter is just as much a manifestation of the self, except that he consists of its dark aspect. Both are Christian symbols, and they have the same meaning as the image of the Saviour crucified between two thieves. This great symbol tells us that the progressive development and differentiation of consciousness leads to an ever more menacing awareness of the conflict, and involves nothing less than a crucifixion of the ego, its agonizing suspension between irreconcilable opposites. Naturally, there can be no question of a total extinction of the ego, for then the focus of consciousness would be destroyed, and the result would be complete unconsciousness. The relative abolition of the ego affects only those supreme and ultimate decisions which confront us in situations where there are insoluble conflicts of duty. This means, in other words, that in such cases the ego is a suffering bystander who decides nothing but must submit to a decision and surrender unconditionally. The genius of man, the higher and more spacious part of him, whose extent no one knows, has the final word. It is therefore well to examine carefully the psychological aspects of the individuation process in the light of Christian tradition, which can describe it for us with an exactness and impressiveness far surpassing our feeble attempts, even though the Christian image of the self, Christ, lacks the shadow that properly belongs to it.